Hello guys, welcome back to another Monica020 video, and today I've got something that I'm really excited to show you. Without further ado, here is my fully completed model of Duncan the narrow gauge engine from Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. So Duncan is based upon Douglas, a 2-foot 3-inch narrow gauge locomotive from the Talyllyn Railway in Wales. However, unlike Douglas, his TV series model has some slight changes to his proportions and particularly his boiler size compared to Douglas. Duncan first appeared in the Railway series book titled Little Old Engine in 1959, and he made his television series debut in 1995 in the season 4 episode Passengers and Polish. Duncan is considered by many fans a fan favourite. So Duncan is nearly entirely constructed from styrene plastic card sheets, and all cut by me, based on the measurements of the original series 4 small scale prop, using reference photos from behind the scenes images of season 4. He's powered by a LEGO Power Functions tray motor, and a receiver and battery box goes in the coach behind him. And I constructed this coach very much for the purposes of hiding the electronics, as he cannot fit as the electronics needed for his chassis cannot fit in his cab, since that is where the iMac is housed, and we'll get to that a bit more later. Duncan's front buffer beam is constructed using styrene plasticard sheets, and the buffers are oven baking clay, hand sculpted by me, and ultimately I painted it silver with silver nail varnish. As well as that, his coupling hook is styrene plasticard sheet as well. And how that works is you can hook on Lego chains to it to couple to any other piece of rolling stock or even other engines. It's a system I actually designed myself. I currently don't have enough Lego chains to use for my early Lego chains I had. I don't really want to use, as they're just part of a Lego set in the air. And the chains themselves also would require a bit of modification to fit on. Ultimately, it would be, the only thing you need to do is really get rid of the top Lego stud thing and then just hook it on, So eventually I will be getting to that. His face is hand sculpted by me, and I used oven baking clay for it. As you can see, it is removable, simply held on with some blue tack. And as you can see here's the design mechanism. You can see the bracket inside, and we'll get more to that eye mechanism in a minute, but yeah. Currently I only have this one face mask completed. Currently I only have just one face mask completed. However, other alternate faces are on the horizon for this model, or hopefully soon. Moving on to his cab, as you can see, this follows very strictly from the prop, in that he has a blacked out cab on both sides. Kind of hard to see due to the position that's set on the other side, but he does have it on the other side. No. Yep. And ultimately, this of course means if I were to have any driver's refinement put in, they would have to be cut down the middle to actually fit on, as you can't, stand in the normal cab, as there's servos in there for the eye mechanism. And of course there's a roof here, and this is actually removable. Let's just hold on with some blue tack. And then here's his eye mechanism. You can see the 2 servos, one for the up and down movement, one for the left and right movement. This system was custom designed by myself and doesn't actually follow how the original prop would have done it. However, the reason for this is it was just easier to construct. Ultimately, at the end of the day, by doing it that way. And how this mechanism works is behind the eyes there is a bracket connecting the two to a metal rod which goes through the boiler and connects here to the servo, and a piece of blue tack is tucked to make sure it doesn't fall out the little section, you know, isn't it? So yeah, and the little holes which the rod peeks through. Yeah, that's the design mechanism. Moving on to the construction of the model. As said in the beginning, he's nearly entirely made of styrene plastic sheets, and ultimately I originally constructed him back in like June or July of 2020, in fact. Of course, not all of the parts are styrene plastic sheet, of course, such as the panel on the cab, the buffers, the funnel face, the dome, you know, that sort of stuff, and especially the collar. Those are not made of styrene plastic, they're made of other making clay, with the exception of the collar, which is, I believe, 16mm bulldog pellets, or something like that. I'm not quite sure off the top of my head. What I do know is the styrene plastic sheet I used was about 1.5mm in thickness, and was about A4 A5 in size, and ultimately required at least 2 or 3 sheets in total just to make it. And ultimately as well, that counts as rebuilt parts. Of course, since I first started this in 2020 and it's now 2021 and it's finally done, he's had a lot of modifications over the years. If you've seen one of my older videos, you probably can tell some of the modifications, particularly the face and eyes, and especially the weathering. Ultimately, this model does have some imperfections of proportions, such as this section here. But like during the gluing process, because this is my first ever model, one of the edges of the cab thing slid down, and you know, and then now it's just like tilted to the side, so can't really fix that now, sadly, because it's just so already well in place and painted over. I didn't try to fix it. But yeah, the construction of the model, so that's basically what we're doing now, sadly. Same thing with the funnel, it's kind of tilted. Yeah. I've been in the scolding process, I'm not sure, but sadly it's kind of tilted to the side, you know. And of course, I tried my best to make this model as nice as possible, because if you've seen my older videos, when I first completed him, he didn't look very nice, you know. Side rods looked grey, face was this really weird shade, sloppily painted, so a lot of work went into him just to make him nicer. A lot of hours of just painting, varnishing and painting and varnishing and whatnot. But I'm just so happy how it's turned out now with all that modification. Still not perfect, but I'm very happy how it turned out for sure. And yeah, of course, this model is based on the original measurements of the Season 4 small scale prop. So of course, due to this, he's basically in proportion with it. Of course, to an extent, because of all the little errors I made during the construction process. And due to these little errors and inconsistencies, I will be making a version 2 in the future, hopefully fixing the slanted cab problem and making everything just smoother and nicer and not bent and everything. But nonetheless, I am just super happy with this model in general, and yeah. Now currently I don't have the RC controls that I need for his eye mechanism, as well as the RC controls I need to make his chassis remote controlled. As currently his chassis is only battery powered and powered with a stock standard higher functions battery box, so I have to switch it on from inside where it's been hidden, so I can't operate him from outside. I am working on getting these electronics soon. Currently I don't have them in my possession, but I will be getting them soon, so stay tuned for that. And yeah. Well, that's all I got for you today. I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.